Yeah, what's poppin', folks, at the Hot Moms Lifestyle Podcast and Free Group. I'm here today in the Florida apartment that we are setting up, not in the Cali house. So it's pretty funny. The computer's on a air mattress box, and it's over my dishwasher. It's awesome. So anyway, super pumped because Melissa's here. Melissa Randall. We actually filmed the first part of this at the Cali spot in Laguna Beach. She came over, she did a VIP day, and actually did something else, okay? We'll just say she journeyed. We did some plant medicine. It was phenomenal. Holy shit. Anyway, but before we get into all the magic stuff, she's going to share, she has a really cool story about her health and fitness and everything. When she was sharing it with me, I had no idea. I was like, oh my God, you got to share this. So, Melissa, thanks for being with us today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. She's a mommy. She is a full-time RN and full-time dreamer, right?
Yes.
Yes. You said yes. I love it. Okay. So let me start with just a few questions. So let's start with, tell us a little bit about you. Married, how long, stepkids, just a little bit about you so that people can connect and where you live.
Okay. I live in Corsicana, Texas, small town, born and raised. Married for almost 13 years. I've been a nurse for 13 years. And I have 3 kids. The youngest one is mine biologically, but the other 2 are my bonus kids.
I can't believe you left out your dogs.
I have my 2 pit bulls, Mallory and Walton.
One loves her girl dog loves to wear dresses.
Yes. She loves to wear clothes. She has outfits.
I love it. But tell the story behind the dogs, though. Didn't you say Mallory was actually going to be put down and you went and got her that day?
So the day that I saw her, someone shared her on Facebook, and it was on there that if someone doesn't come get her today, she's being put down today. And I don't know, it was just her face. I saw it and I was like, so I got to go get her. So I did. And it's almost like ever since then she knew it, because it was like, she's just the best dog ever. It's like she knows we saved her life.
So sweet. I love dogs. Okay, I love that. And because I know we just have some animal moms. We got a lot of women who follow us and that work with us. They're not mommies, but some of them have animals. So that I love hearing about that. And then the bonus kiddos, you became their stepmom when they were very young, right?
Yes. So the oldest, she was 4. Bio mom was not in the picture. So I became full-time mom at 21.
You're so lucky though. Like it'd be so cool to have kids, which you didn't have to worry about like the ex-wife, and you could just get to have a bonus kid.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes. It's so much fun. And then the middle one, she was about 1. Yeah, she was 1 years old. But the oldest one, it's kind of a confusing situation, but the oldest one I raised since she was 4 full time. And then the middle one, I've got to watch her grow up and, come be with us and visit us. And it's a lot of fun.
I think it's cute because when I was little, I used to watch Jungle Book. And when they found Mowgli in the baby basket, I was like, I had the worst, it's a good feeling, like yearning in my stomach. Like, why can't I find a baby in a basket?
I know, right?
Why can't I find a baby that needs me in a basket by the creek? I don't know. I kept going to the creek and there were no baby there. And I was like so bummed out. So anyway, and then do you specialize in any type of, the nursing unit? Which unit are you on?
I specialize in the OR. So procedures. So all aspects of it, the pre-op, intra-op, post-op, all of it.
Okay.
I do all the procedure stuff.
Cool. Okay. Got it. Well, so with that being said, now that y'all know Melissa a little bit more, when you found out about us, do you remember specifically though, what got your attention?
Yes. So I was just scrolling Facebook one day and it was one of the reels that came across and I just happened to click on it. And, the way that you were speaking, it was like, talking about weight loss programs and how they don't work because you have to go beyond working out. You have to go beyond diet. And, it's you have to go internally to figure out why everything hasn't worked for you. And then I never looked at it that way, because I'm thinking, well, what's beyond working out and eating right? What's beyond that? So that really got me thinking like, wow, like I want to see what she has to say, because clearly, nothing's working for me if I'm still out here searching for the next thing.
Yeah. And that's why I love and I really appreciate you sharing with us again. We're still going to use the first footage, but you've got a great story. Like, you struggled your ass off trying to, and actually, I love that you didn't even realize you had an poor relationship with food. We'll get into that. So that brought you in, like, hey, made you kind of think like, whoa, here I am still struggling. And she's saying there's more beyond this. Let me look into it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So what was the main problem you had when you joined? Do you remember?
The first thing that stood out to me on that coaching call was I gone through the questions, and she asked me about different traumas in my life. And at first I was kind of thinking like, what does that have to do with fitness, and what does that have to do with it? But then once Nicole went further into the questions, I'm like, I see, like, there's a cycle here, and there's something underlying that I haven't worked on yet that would be the key factor in changing all of this. And so really it started with her questions, because that really got me thinking, like, and I cried during those questions, and I felt really silly because I'm like, why am I getting so emotional for this? And it just, that kind of flicked a light bulb on, think, okay, there's something that I really need to uncover and work on here.
Wow.
So
isn't it strange when you feel seen and heard, something strikes a nerve and you just start crying? It's not like a crying because you're scared or sad. It literally just it just comes out of nowhere.
Exactly. I know. And at first I was embarrassed, because I'm like, this poor lady's on the phone with me and I'm losing it.
Happens all the time. It probably happens every 10 calls. It probably happens on 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really triggered something in me to think, okay, there's something here, like, you really need to work on this.
Yeah. And I want to just share with everyone watching, because they may feel like, I don't have any trauma, nothing bad happened to me, and that's fine and great. moving, having a baby, going from home to college is trauma. And trauma affects our nervous system. Just any type of, change in hormones is traumatic. Going through puberty is traumatic. Going through womanhood is traumatic. It's all, just on your nervous system. It's things within your nervous system. And we get addicted. We don't know it, but we get addicted to chaos or shit going wrong or things not working out or weight issues. But more importantly, if we grow up not feeling safe, something, happened or didn't happen, we grew up not feeling safe, our nervous system feels that, and then we go into survival mode, which triggers adrenal fatigue, which triggers fucked up hormones. You can't lose weight if you tried to. So that's when Melissa says that the word trauma, that's what we look at. It's not like you need to come in and people think trauma is like getting butt fucked by your uncle or something, which, that's a whole nother thing. But trauma literally could be just moving or losing your mail at the mailbox, just little things, that happen or didn't happen to us, and how our nervous system reacts and responds to that, and learning how to somatically approach to heal our hormones from the nervous system standpoint. That way, the workouts do work, the meal plan does work, and the hormones does work. And actually, you start wanting to you think differently. When Melissa thinks completely, like it's a 180. Would you say you think like a 180 different?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You're full of so much gold. I'm so thankful that you're letting us just sit here and just pick your brain and just share with us, because, yeah. Okay, so the main challenge, though, that you had, was it, I know you had paid coaches and you were trying to lose weight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very surface level at the beginning, weight loss.
Tell us that. We want to know all about the surface. Totally. Go surface. Yeah. What was it? Was it 10 pounds cellulite? Like, what was it?
It was, I want to say, I know it was at least 20 to 30 pounds I wanted to lose. I didn't share this before, but before 2020, the end of 2019, I was really struggling with my relationship with my dad and just trying to have one. And I was drinking every day. Towards the end, probably the last few months of 2019, every day I was drinking just to numb, that, because, trying to have this relationship, it wasn't working. So I just, screw it. I'm just going to drink every day. 2020, I had put on weight from all of that drinking every day. And so I was like, I can't do this to myself every day. I can't do this. And so,
No, stop. What made you feel, I love these moments. What made you say, I can't do this anymore? What was it? Do you remember?
because I saw that it was destroying me, I was sacrificing myself to try and have this relationship, and it was very one-sided. And I just noticed that I was sacrificing myself, destroying myself, self-sabotaging, because I felt like it was my fault that it wasn't working. And I just didn't want to live there anymore. And, it wasn't worth me sacrificing my health, my mental health, physical health over something that wasn't in my control to begin with. And that was something that I had to accept, that, I can't fix it.
But still, it's almost like, do you remember though? Just, was it in your car? Was it after a fight with your husband? Was it when you realized you weren't paying attention to your kids? Like, do you remember what it was?
My husband, I wanted to go to my dad's house for Christmas. I wanted to go there because it's like, I'm very stubborn. I'm a very stubborn person. So if you're not going to answer me on the phone, by God, I'm just going to show up at your house. You are going to have a relationship with me, is what my mindset was. And so I told my husband I wanted to go over there, but I didn't want to go by myself, because deep down I knew that I was not wanted there. And so I wanted someone with me, for support. And my husband looked at me and he said, "No, I'm not going. And I don't think you should either."
Oh, good.
I said, "What do you mean?" And he said, "Why would you want to go somewhere that you're not wanted?" He said, "You're not welcome. You're not wanted. Why would you put yourself through that?" And he said, "No, I'm not going, because I'm not going to see you put yourself through that, because you know exactly what's going to happen." And he said, "I don't think you should go either." And, at first it kind of like hit me like, "Oh, how dare you?" But then when I sat with it a little more, I'm like, he's right. He's absolutely right. And that was the first time, up until then, he kind of kept quiet because he knew that I was hurting. And so he didn't want to add to it. But I think he finally just got tired of seeing me put myself through that it was like, look, this is the truth and you need to accept it and just move on. And that's what I did. So,
man, and that's hard.
It is hard. It's hard to, accept the truth, because, you lie to yourself for so long and you don't want to see it. But then someone finally shows it to you and you're like, okay, now I need to sit with this.
Yeah. And it's, we get into those cycles of internalized shame because we feel like we're bad. So we're going to go chase everything that makes us feel like we are rejected and we're not wanted. And it's where the weight comes in. When women struggle with weight constantly and they hate their bodies, it's just a shame cycle. That's it. So once we go and clear out the shame cycle, it's like you're free of this addiction to the shame. And now there's gratitude and joy and bliss and creativity and this new life. But you have to let the old one die. And that's what you did at my house. And I've died too. And it's fucking amazing. So, okay. So you were struggling. You were wanting to lose 30 pounds? 20, 30 pounds? Okay. And how many diets had you done? Like, tell us what all you've tried, to get healthy and all that.
So I've tried calorie restriction. I've tried low carb, Atkins, keto, juice cleanses, protein shake diet, cardio. Absolutely. I was only doing cardio. What were you doing? Elliptical, treadmill, bicycle. Trust me, I avoided the weight room like the plague, because number one, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about weight. I kind of felt like I was, when I walked in, I didn't want to feel stupid because I didn't know what I was doing. And so I knew how to do the elliptical. So that's where I went and spent my time in the cardio room. And it was like very frustrating because, I'm like, okay, like I'm doing this diet. I'm busting my ass in the gym. What the hell, like it's not going anywhere. But even if it would come off, it would be temporary.
Yeah,
and
always.
Can't sustain those fads for very long until, try to have a normal diet and then it comes back on.
And going back, now you said, and this is how far we go back, because we have to go back to the root with most everybody so that we can clear it out. you struggled with weight. I think you said something about a relationship you got in or something that triggered you about you were weighing or something. Something triggered you with a boy, mentioned your weight, and that created anorexia, right?
Yeah. So when I was 16, I was put on birth control and it made me put on 20 pounds. But honestly, I noticed I had gained weight, but it didn't bother me. It didn't, I mean, I just bought bigger clothes. Like, it's like, okay, whatever. It didn't bother me until, me and my boyfriend at the time, of course, he's fit and skinny and can eat whatever he wants. He was wanting to put on weight, like for weightlifting. And just for fun, he kind of went in there to see how much he weighed. And I was like, let me see how much I weigh because I'd never weighed myself, so I didn't know. And I hopped on the scale and it said 175. And he kind of looked at it and was like, oh. And I was like, what? Is that bad? Is that a lot? And he was like, I mean, I don't know. Like, that's how much I weigh. And I was like, oh, okay. So maybe that's bad. And it just his facial expression of like, "Ugh," you know,
And you're tall, right? You're pretty tall.
I'm 5'8". And I just, it was like, in that moment, just his face was kind of a, like, oh, this is bad. Like,
Girl.
you need to work on this. So I was like, okay, at first it started off, I was just working out and eating healthy and, just cutting out sugary fried stuff, and then once the weight started to come off and I got to a healthy weight, I got to a healthy weight. And that's when people started complimenting me like, oh, wow, you lost weight. Like, oh, you look great. And so this is the first time that I've gotten positive attention like that. And it was like a drug. It was so addicting. And so I'm like, okay, so this is what gets me attention. So I'm going to keep going. I had lost like 20 pounds, I think. I was like 150 something, which is probably a normal weight for my frame and being 16 at the time. And you add in my parents going through divorce, chaos,
High school,
teenage life, you add in all these toxic things into this weight loss being the only positive thing that's going on. And then then it turned into control. Then it turned into, went down to eating 600 calories a day, working out 3 times a day. I worked out morning, afternoon, evening. I worked out 3 times a day on 600 calories, which I don't know how I didn't pass out. There was a time when I was in every sport that you could be in. And this was when I got down to about 118, 119, which is really small for me. And I was at a volleyball game and I was so tired. I was not performing very well. And my coach pulled me aside and, she's like, first thing she asked me was, what did you eat today? And I was like, well, I ate that little lunch y'all gave me. And she said, no, you didn't, because I watched you. She said, you didn't eat anything today. And she was like, I can tell because you look like you're about to pass out. And then it's like, you're being a teenager. You're like, what do you know?
You just don't know. It's like you feel like shit.
I had no idea. I just complete denial. Anytime anyone asked me if I was okay, some more abrasive people would ask me, like, are you on drugs? Because you're really skinny. And it made me frustrated because I'm like, I didn't see it. I didn't see what they were talking about. When I looked in the mirror, I still saw that same person.
People don't think that that's an addiction. They think drugs and alcohol is an addiction. And show me a woman that struggles with her weight and I'll show you an addiction strong as any opiate. You know what I mean?
It took complete control of my life. I constantly was thinking, what am I going to eat today? How many calories is it? And I need to work out to counteract that. It literally control, like I was no longer in control anymore. It had complete control of me. And it consumed my everyday. Like I couldn't do anything else but think about that.
I've been there. And there's a lot of women, if they're real with themselves, that have been in the game for a minute, has too. So there was an underlying thing here, but you came to us with, 20, 30 pounds to lose, realize like, hey, maybe there is something deeper. I'm open. All right. And let me ask this. So there's a lot of programs out there. I don't know if you checked them out, but what do you feel like made you go with hours? I mean, it's not cheap, to do the mastermind and get all the things that you got. So what made you go with hours versus let me think about it, let me go shop, let me, in another program or even a hormonal program?
Because of all of the things that I did try, this one was the only one that went inside, that went deep. Because of all the ones that I've done, they're all the same. Here's your meal plan. Here's your workout plan. That's what it is. And, this was the first time that I've actually seen something that was willing to address, like, hey, maybe you have a hormone issue. Hey, maybe you have an internal struggle issue. And I just felt like, well, I haven't tried this way. So let me see what this is about. And I'm not going to lie, whenever, I have money blocks too. So when we initially went over the program and they told me how much it was, from what I've told myself from the beginning is, anytime I invest in myself, I'm not ever going to lose. And I felt like even if it took me, 3 years to pay this off, if it changes my life for the rest of my life, that's nothing, I'm worth it is what.
Did it change your life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Changed my life. It's changed my family's life. People around me, it's definitely changed my life.
And I know women are good. I know women's that right now, they're like, how and what did you do? We're going to get there. We're going to get there. We're going. Don't rush us. Okay. So what stood out was we looked at mind, body, soul, and hormonal, the hormones and everything, and actually what causes all that. Okay. What aspects do you feel were the most helpful? And you can make it like 3 things if you need to, but what are the top 1 to 3 things that you feel like helped Melissa the most?
So going into energy codes, acknowledging first of all that, I had these abandonment ones because even through all of the shit that I've been through, I still didn't connect that there's an abandonment there. So one of the videos I was listening to, just in my kitchen cooking dinner, I was listening to it, and you started naming off all these characteristics. And I was like, man, she just called me out in my kitchen right here. And then that's whenever you said, you've got these abandonment ones. And I'm like, what is she talking about? So that was a big one. That was a big turning point for me. And so journaling, I'm trying to remember specifically like which videos I went to, but I know journaling, like when you get triggered by something and you go and you write it down and you're like, okay, why is this triggering me right now? What am I feeling right now? And then a big one also came from when you asked, when did I feel like this? When I was a kid, when did I remember feeling like this? And that has taken me back to so many times where it just helps me understand, like, okay, I'm reacting to this because I feel this way. Because at one time when I was little, this happened to me and that's how I reacted. And so now my body remembers that, and now it's acting like this again.
Yeah. And here's how to give yourself what you need. And really, it's people I know will be like, well, do I need to go back through stuff? No. It's only like you said, when you get triggered. Do you remember what the trigger was? Was it something with your husband or like, what's a trigger? Women, just if somebody out there doesn't really know.
So one specific trigger for me was my husband did metal work. Like he would make things. So he was, like a lot of people were contacting him. There was one woman in particular that kept contacting. And I noticed like she kept like buying all these things from him, which, at first I tried to tell myself like, well, that's good. Like he's getting all this. But then it became more than that. Like then it became like she'd want to like show her where she put it in her house. And she'd, I noticed that it was really triggering me. Like it was really eating at me. And I was like, why is this bothering me so much? Because it wasn't a trust issue with him. It's never been that. But I'm thinking, why does this keep coming up for me? And so I'm like, okay, I need to go work on this. So I sat down and I thought, why does it bother me that she's contacting me? And journaling and going back took me all the way back to when my dad left my mom. And that same gut punch, he's going to leave me. He's going to abandon me. that was the same trigger that would keep coming up. And I'm like, okay, all right, now I know where I need to go in and work on this. Because it was most of the time it's always gone back to a feeling of you're not good enough. Nobody wants you. He's going to leave. And all of that came from when I internalized when my dad left. And so I'm like, okay.
You're in a MAR, you're in the feminine course, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you been through the section where I was triggered with that insecure shit and like going through, I don't know if you've been through that module, but we actually break that down, how all these things will come up, especially around that. That's what I love.
I want to say I remember you talking about it. I can't remember if I saw it in the module or not. But
it's crazy. It's crazy. And you look at it and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I feeling this way? But you're right. You got to go to it and figure out like, what, there's something here you get to like redo. You get to recreate the story so that it serves you now.
Yes. And so what I feel like is so amazing about these triggers and lessons that I've been given is once I work through them and once I don't care about them anymore, it went away. And she actually, I think, moved to a different state and has never messaged him again. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Thanks for the lesson.
That's what happens with weight. When women clear the reason why they need to struggle with weight, they stop. It's almost like this magic thing happens and it's like, oh, yep, it's not even there. Like, what are you going to do now? Oh, yep, now you can go create this because that problem's not there anymore because you cleared the reason why you would need it, So fucking cool. Did you ever use the emotional chart, the emotion wheel, or no?
Yes, I use that.
I love that shit, man. Okay, so you did energy codes. How about, the physical part? Like, what do you feel like helped you the most? Was it the custom nutrition? Was it the food and gut? Was it the hormones? Was it learning how to work out? Like, what do you feel like the physical part?
All of that. Because before this, like I said, I avoided the weight room.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so getting through in the beginning, learning about macros, talking with Gracie and getting custom macros, that way because I'm not gonna lie, I tried to figure that stuff out on my own and it did not work out. So getting Gracie to help me, actually ask her for help, and and also she told me I didn't realize that my adrenals were shot.
Ooh.
That's shocking. She actually told me, we need to slow it down, like not go so hard. Like you actually need to, she customized my workouts to where I can't, like 2 days of, lightweight training and then like 1 day of doing something fun, like riding my bike or, taking a walk or something like that.
Did that trigger you? Did you ever feel like, oh God, this isn't enough, I'm going to get fat, I need to go add more?
Yeah. At first I was confused because I was like, wait, like I thought I was supposed to do more.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Once I was like, it was kind of a relief because it felt like you don't have to go so hard. You don't have to do all that. Yeah. And it was a relief. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I get to have fun with this. Like it's not a job anymore.
Love it. I love that. Same with the money. Women that get in, they start doing that with workouts and relationships and money and realize like, whoa, we've been like trying to prove our worth. We've been like thinking it took way more than this. So you went from doing cardio every day. How long? Do you know how long your cardio sessions used to be?
At least an hour.
All right. And then how much cardio do you do now?
If I go for a walk, maybe, or biking or something like that, maybe.
No, but I'm saying on the elliptical.
No, I don't do the elliptical anymore.
Okay, no more elliptical. Okay, so, and then how much weight have you lost?
I'm going to say it's 192 when I started, and I'm 167. So what is
that's
that?
like 30, almost 30 pounds?
Yeah.
So you...
along with, also, once I got an idea of what I needed to be doing as far as nutrition wise and working out wise, I waited, forget how long it was, 3 or 4 months. And then I went with the hormone doc and got my hormones checked and have been working with them also because again, I don't know when I've ever had my hormones checked to even get an idea or a baseline.
That's amazing that you waited.
Yeah, I wanted to wait just to see if, I don't know. I don't know why I waited.
No, I tell women to do that. That's my preferred thing, unless she's like in the shitter. If it's like a 911 case, but most of the time I tell women, I'm like, listen, just get in and do everything else, and your body's naturally going to heal. You will. You can heal adrenals naturally. You really can. And then do your hormones. I think that's a way. I love that approach. So I'm really glad that you did that, because some women get down on themselves like, oh, I haven't done them yet. I'm like, good. Don't do them yet. You don't have to.
And doing the food test. So I knew what foods were not working well with me.
I love that.
Also, a big game changer for me too was doing the hot body challenges. Just having, other people doing them, and being accountable for the submitting your pictures, and I really liked that. My family kind of made fun of me because we were on vacation in the middle of it, and I brought my weight and worked out, did my workout. I went and found a gym close to where we were, and I went and worked out, and
It feels good.
at first I was kind of thinking, oh, they're going to make fun of me. But they were very impressed, and they're like, wow, like, I'm really impressed with you. And it kind of like got them thinking like, okay, I want to do this too. And so
That's vacation. You're there to relax and have fun. Why wouldn't you want to get more positive endorphins moving? Hello, you know? Okay. So you went from doing an hour cardio day to none, and you lost 30 pounds. How much? I know you probably don't know what you were eating when you came in, but do you know like how high your calories got to? If you don't, that's fine.
I think actually I was probably under eat because I don't know, I always felt like I needed to be in a deficit all the time.
Yeah.
So I was probably under eating. I think when I first started tracking them at first, just to get an idea, maybe 16 to 1700 calories, maybe
Okay. Where are you? What's the most that you've gotten to eat?
2100.
21. Okay, getting there. We're gonna get you to 25. It's coming. It's coming. But that's good though. I mean, you sound like energetic, or energy wise. Like, can you give us an example of where you were at energy? Did you depend on caffeine? Were you crashing? Could you shit? Was libido low? Like, was anything like that going on?
All of those things. No libido, and mostly, and I know that was a lot from a lot of stress. Stress and hormones killed my libido, and energy not great. I always, no matter how much sleep I got, I woke up so tired. Afternoon crashes all the time. Having to have the afternoon coffee just to get home. And yeah, energy was terrible. I always felt bad because I'd get home and, my son wants to play. And I'm just so tired. Like, I can't, and then here comes the guilt of, well, I'm tired. I can't play with my kid. And now I feel guilty, and,
Horrible.
all of those things. But I mean, now I'll wake up. Actually, I wake up before my alarm. A lot of the times I'll wake up before my alarm and come home. I'll do my workout in the afternoon. It's so much fun because now my whole family's involved. We've bought a home gym. My son loves to work out. And at first, another guilt was if I left work and stopped at the gym on the way home, well, then that's less time with my family. But now we've made it a whole family ordeal. So it's like I get my workout and get to hang out with my kid and my husband. So,
Fuck yeah. And you can't do it the other way around. Women that get in, they're real codependent. They're like, I need my husband to do it. No, you fucking don't. Your ass needs to do it. Women are in the lead of all that. Like, they are. So I love that it's happening for you now. And let's see. Now that you've implemented it, we know the result. We got 30 pounds down. You're eating more food. Life is completely different. I mean, is your libido better?
oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It's a lot.
Okay. And
Yeah, hormones were a big deal. Hormones were a factor in that. But once I cleared up the not being good enough, it was like something sparked in me to where, it's like that goddess, like, just like
bad bitch.
Yes, like, she just came alive and was like, it went from feeling like, another checklist to, like, "No, this is what I wanna do, like, this is for me," and so it that changed the game too.
Goddess, the goddess is here. Well, where do you think you'd be if you wouldn't have joined?
I feel like I would still have that feeling of, "There's gotta be something else, like, this can't be it," because that was the feeling I had before I came in was, "This can't be how I live the rest of my life." I was angry. I had a lot of anger and resentment and about everything. And I just I feel like I would just still feel stuck in that spot of just miserable.
Just want to stay in your shit, man. Just want to stay in it. Just want
Yeah.
to stay in it. Okay. And how do you know if you're just wanting to stay in it? You're not feeling any better. When you're not feeling better, it means you're kind of choosing to stay in it. So that's pretty much how I would describe my journey. You know, if there's always this thing that if you're not feeling good on a constant, you're just there's something you're continuing to choose into and not choose. Is just all there. So lastly, before we get into a little bit of the magic, if there are women out there, which there are, I'm sure, busy, I need to wait, I'm scared, who the fuck are, like, they're just fucking paralyzed, paralysis of analysis in their shit, in their trauma responses of too busy, they're scared. What would you say to them if they're hesitant about booking that call, filling out the application, and getting started with us?
I would say, just like I told myself, you're worth investing in. You're worth it. You I mean, what else do you have to lose? You know?
Your old bullshit, your ass, your cellulite, your old story, your fears, that's what they can lose.
You're worth living your life for yourself. You know, it amazes me how we're so quick to help someone else. We have no problem, doing for other people and helping other people and living our lives for other people. We have no problem with that. But why do we have such a problem with living for ourselves and investing in ourselves? I thought about that the other day. I'm like, why is it so easy to do that for other people and not for ourselves?
It's brainwashing and shame and cultural programming. That's what it
Absolutely.
is. And until you wake the fuck up, that's why I love that new Barbie movie. Have you seen it?
Not yet. I want to,
Oh
but not
my God. Go watch it.
yet.
I want to go watch it again. It's the best, but I would say that's what it is women got programmed when patriarchy, took over, because as you learned in Amara, the reason women stopped, like the matriarchy stopped, was because we took advantage. And that's what I teach you, relationship by design. Like, hey, we're low-key emasculating the men when we sit here and, so learning this dynamic and learning about our shit, man, it just frees both parties. It frees us up and frees them up. That's why I said, make your own money,
Yeah.
free your men up, make your own money, make your own decisions. You be independent. Don't, be separate from him. Let him be the partner and support you. It's too enmeshed. Anyway, what would you say, like, what was the experience like for you with the anxiety and getting to see the things? Like, so you were scared of all the things, you were scared that it would change you were scared of what you would see. Like, how was that? Were you shown anything that you were afraid of, or was it, oh my God, amazing?
So at first, when I went through the inner child things, I feel like the reason I went through that first is because it was almost like that was like a 911. We need to work on this first. Her inner child is so scared. And it was like, once we did that, before we even got to the Aya, it was like I could tell, just there was a weight and a relief feeling before that. And it was like, I felt like that was necessary before.
I did the same thing when I journey. They'll always take me, no, not everybody's the same. They'll always take me to like one or two instances.
Yeah.
And we'll start there first. And then we work through that. And then I'll start going on some other journey that's doing something else clearly. It's like, I don't know. Now, did you get any of the psychedelic visuals or colors or weird shit? Did you ever get anything?
Oh yeah, it was so cool. It was so cool. It was weird because I didn't know what to expect. Like I just didn't know what to expect. But it was like at first when I laid there for a second, I'm thinking like, all right, what's gonna happen? And then I know a lot of people won't understand this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. At first I see a fisheye. It's a big, big fisheye. Very pretty. And it was almost like it was going past me. And I was like, did I just see that? It was almost kind of like I was thinking, like, did I really just see that? And then it was almost like just a movie, like a slideshow of different things. It was almost like kind of like a movie.
Atlantis. You told me, you said I was underwater and you said it was almost like I was in Atlantis or something.
And that's where when I saw the fisheye first, it didn't make sense. I'm thinking like, surely that's not what I just saw because that doesn't make sense. But then later when I was underwater, then it made sense. I'm like, okay, I see where that came from.
That's incredible.
It was very neat. It was just, it was so cool because it's almost like a state of, you're awake, but it feels like you're in a dream. Like it feels like it's a very weird, like it's very, it's like just magical. Like you're just, you're awake, but you're seeing all these things.
Yeah. It's, to me, I'm sure they have studies on what it's doing to your brain, but I have read a little bit about Alzheimer, and things that it does for your neurons and just really healing your brain. It's incredible. I don't know a lot about it. I'd love to know about it, but it's cool how, like your anxiety, okay, let's say it was a 10. What would you say that it has been since that?
Oh my gosh, not even close. I wouldn't say it's non-existent.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't be human.
Yeah, I know it's at least cut in half. At least cut in half.
That's nice. What does your husband say? Like, can he feel or tell any different?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't think he makes the connection. But it's almost like, not that we weren't open about things before, but it's almost like instead of regular communicating, like regular things, it's almost like he is very, kind of like a little kid, like, hey, guess what? Like, guess what? Like, like sharing more of like dreams, like wanting to live at the beach, whereas before it was like, let's be realistic. Now it's more like I can see where I used to be the dreamer in the relationship. It's like he's joining me, it's like we're both like joining dreams together, and he's more open to like, well, maybe, like,
Because you're more open.
oh yeah,
It's beautiful.
absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Women, that's why so many women want to change their men. And I'm like, change yourself. You are the world. You change your whole world.
It seems like, I've always had a hard time with communicating. I've never been able to communicate. It seems like the more I've opened up and started saying what I want and what I don't want, and then it's like, it's almost like he's stepping into it with me, like, okay, yeah, like, let's, dream together.
I love it.
It's the coolest thing. It's so cool.
And you'll
Because
definitely have you'll definitely have a different location, I'm certain. Like everybody, with or without it, if you get into the vibe, we do this in Mastermind and Amar, if you get into the vibe, you're gonna have a different life if you just say that's what you want and are open to looking at the things and challenging your beliefs and creating new ones. And all that shit. Well, that's amazing. I'm so happy that you shared that. I really hope that more of the medical community could do something like this, because I mean, I don't know, if I'm getting operated on and there's a nurse there that's got all this fucking baggage and anxiety, I'm
Right.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now you're calm. Now you're showing up calm.
Oh,
You've got
yeah.
more empathy. You're a better nurse. You know?
Oh, yeah. I've definitely noticed, before this, I was very, just basically just showing up and doing the job,
Like
going
most people.
going through the motions.
Yep.
Ever since that trip especially, I feel I don't get frustrated like I used to. I've even caught myself in the middle of situations where I'm like, wow, I really used to let this bother me. And I really used to get wound up about this. And I'm like, this is not bothering me. And I feel like being in that state, I can be such a better nurse to my patients. And it's almost like we get to be chill together, like.
It's fucked up to me that the medical community, because they drug test and all, and it's like, okay, because I remember one time I went to a plastic surgeon. He was like bent over doing something, looking at my shit. I could smell, he reeked of alcohol the night before, where he'd been drunk. He's loaded, a very well-known one. And I'm like, so why something like this, or even marijuana, is a no-no on the weekends, but you can get hammered, shit-faced drunk the night before. Like, don't come at me with that. So it's just bad fucked up, and it's probably going to stay that way, and that's fine. This is why more people need to step into like natural healing and stuff like that. But it just blew my mind how alcohol is alcohol, and it will ruin your life, and they can show up hungover, but yet, people frown at something like this or marijuana.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't get it either.
Well, I just appreciate you. Is there anything else you want to add?
I just feel like if you're on the fence, this is your sign. Just do it.
Reach in. Her name's Melissa.
Invest in yourself.
And so we'll do now. And thank you for joining us so much. This is Melissa, student Melissa. She went from cardio every day to no cardio, 30 pounds down, anxiety's wiped. Now she's got the libido. She's happy. She's creating her own life. This is Melissa. All right. Well, cool. Thank you so much. And we'll have this edited and up, but it will be in the free group. If anybody is commenting, feel free. You're the superstar to get in and give them some comments.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. Bye-bye.